Alright, let's do this. What can Transformers teach us about religious liberty?
What's up, fellows?
This is Pastor Kevin helping you bridge the gap between your life and the good life. If you are a youth leader who's interested and passionate about connecting the eternal truths of the Bible to everyday things of your youth in a rich and meaningful way, then this channel is for you. Every week I'll be posting a video that you can use in your high school ministry or your local church. So feel free to like, share, subscribe, and join me on this journey. Now, every video in this series has two parts. We will have a teaching pro tip that you can use in your youth group as you lead your discussion, and an object lesson that you can plug into the lesson to make the lesson a lot more meaningful and a lot more relevant to your youth. Now, this video is designed to complement the study guides mentioned in the link in the description below. So feel free to check out that link if you want a fleshed out version of some core ideas we've covered in this video. Alright, let's get started. Pro tip. Okay, so here's the teaching pro tip for this week. Delegate. I believe one of our main roles as youth leaders is to raise up more leaders. And I think one of the best ways to do that is to delegate. Delegate parts of the lesson well in advance to the youth so that they can actually help me teach the lesson on the day of. So for example, if you have 3 Bible verses that you're going to use in your youth group lesson, I would identify 3 specific youth. I'll give each of them a particular verse so that during the youth group lesson, they will come and be prepared to explain what they thought about that particular text. All I have to do is to ask each of them to share their thoughts. So they actually help me in teaching. It's important to note that some youth may not feel super comfortable in doing this in public. Spend some time with them beforehand, one-on-one, and help them process that text together so that on the day off they don't feel embarrassed or ill-prepared. Plug. Beast Wars was one of my favorite shows to watch as a kid. Beast Wars Transformers is a Canadian computer animated television series that debuted in 1996 and ended on March 7, 1999. Now in Beast Wars, you have 2 main factions. You have the Maximals, who are the descendants of the Autobots, and you have the Predacons, who are the descendants of the Decepticons. A few episodes into this series, we meet Dinobot. Dinobot is a Velociraptor Predacon who has his allegiance to Megatron. Now, one thing that Dinobot cares about is honor. Check out this statement from Dinobot during a crucial junction in the storyline of Beast Wars. The question that has haunted my being has been answered. The future is not fixed. My choices are my own. I am a warrior. Let the battle be joined. Ah, so savage. Dinobot, in the thick of war, realizes that he has one of 2 choices to make. There is a battle between 2 sides and he is a warrior. But who is he going to be loyal to? Who is he going to stand with and fight? Now, once he finds out Megatron's nefarious schemes to dominate and control, he decides to ally with the Maximals instead. At first, he was reluctant. At first, he was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I should side with the Maximals. But the more he saw the goodness of Optimus Prime, the more he became loyal to the cause of the Maximals. I mean, who wouldn't be loyal to Optimus Prime? I mean, the guy's a gorilla for crying out loud. R.I.P. Harambe. Now, towards the end of his story, Dinobot fights off each Predacon one by one till at the end he faces Megatron himself. Now, at this point, Dinobot is almost done. I mean, he's in his last bit of energy and he just has at the end one choice to make. Should he give up and surrender to the Decepticons? Should he say, you know what, Megatron, I made a mistake. I want you to recharge me. I want to come back to your side. Give me life. Or risk his life in loyalty to the Maximals. Guys, he chooses the latter. He chooses to sacrifice himself for the benefit of the Maximals and for the benefit of the earth. So what does all this have to do with religious liberty? In the book of Revelation, the last book of the Bible, there are mentions of beasts. There is a beast war of cosmic proportions. Now, these beasts in Revelation 13 are symbolic of different nations and systems that are governed by the ultimate Decepticon himself. our enemy, Satan, to wage war against those who are loyal to the cause of God. As I said earlier, check out the study guide below to get more information about these beasts. It's super important to note that these beasts are symbolic, again, of nations and systems that are running contrary to the government of God. Right? We're not talking about people, we're not talking about specific individuals here. That means it is possible that within these systems, that within these nations, there are people like you and I who have a choice to make. Are we going to stay loyal to God? Or are we going to be swayed by the deceptions of the enemy? And he is going to use systems to force people into certain outcomes. He is going to use devices and things to convince you and I that we don't really have free will, that we are somehow forced into a certain way of doing certain things. Listen, anything or any system that forces you to worship in a certain way, anything that forces you and takes your free will away from you is satanic. Because here's the thing, God's government is a government of love. And for love to be love, there needs to be freedom of choice. God wants nothing more than the pure, honest, free choice to love and worship Him. The freedom to have a relationship with Him. But even when the worship of God is forced, that is not of God. That is satanic. Like Dinobot, the issue at the end of times is honor. The issue is going to be worship. Do we give in to the deceptions of the enemy? Or are we going to stay loyal to God? Alright, so there is not so good news and then there's good news. The not so good news is that humanity, you and I, have a choice to make. We choose who we crown. The beast wars that's taking place even right now at a cosmic level is a battle and a war for your heart. The good news is that the battle has already been won. The book of Revelation, which is actually short for the revelation of Jesus Christ, ends with this grand finale of the victory of God over the forces of evil. And the whole book, this whole narrative of the biblical storyline ends with a great banquet feast. It ends with God's redeemed being joined in a place where there's no more pain, no more sickness, no more sorrow, no more war. So even the not so good news can be good news. But that's up to you. That's up to me. Alright guys, that's it folks. So if you like this content, please feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you need to do. Every week I'm hoping to post a video connecting internal truths to everyday things. So till next week, this is Pastor Kevin signing out, helping you bridge the gap between your life and the good life. Take care and God bless.